She overcame countless challenges to become the first woman to sail around the world single-handed and non-stop in both directions. Now, yachtswoman Dee Caffari has been announced as the Youth and Mental Health Ambassador for the Isle of Wight-based sailing charity UKSA. I spoke to Dee this afternoon and asked her what her new role entails.
Young people today have really got a lot of pressure on them at a time and an age when we're asking them to have ambitions and drive their careers and their futures forward. If we think about the last few years, they faced a global pandemic where they've been isolated and they're really struggling from that. We've come now into a crisis of living, with the living wage going up and the pressures on that. So that's making people feel that they can't access things because they don't have the finances involved. And on our European doorstep, we've got a humanitarian crisis going on. And this is all underpinned with anxiety levels growing with our climate crisis. So it's real tough to be a young person. And I'm hoping that I can expose them to outdoor world, to sailing, to fun on the water, activities and potential that they maybe haven't thought of before.
You've obviously experienced a lot in your time as a sailor. What can your experiences bring to bear in this new role?
Well, sailing around the world has no end of its issues, and Mother Nature definitely challenges regularly. So whether it's facing storms, facing illness or injury, or having setbacks, you've got to find that tenacity and resilience to keep pushing forwards. All these little tips that I've learned over my time sailing around the world, I hope to pass on and just reassure these young people that there is a way forwards. And it may take collaboration, it may take teamwork, it may take just talking to somebody to find that way to open the door to go forwards.
Sailing is still seen as a sport of privilege. How do you address that?
It is. We have that hang up that it's for the elite and it's inaccessible. But UKSA is really changing that narrative, and they're actually partially funding a sea change course which allow 14 to 17-year-olds access to 5 days to experience activities on the water. And for any that see that a future might be there in that arena, they're actually offering scholarships and funding to allow it to be possible. So it's not driven by those that can afford it, it's driven that those that got potential and have an interest, and they can get the funds to support them.
And Dee, what about yourself? What challenges are you setting yourself in 2022?
Well, I have to practice what I preach. So, of course, I enjoy a challenge, as we know. And this year's focus is to take part on the Round Britain and Ireland race in August. And I'll be sailing double-handed with double Olympic gold medalist Shirley Robertson. So the two of us are going to come together for the first time sailing the same boat and take on that race.
Dee, best of luck with that and with your new role. Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you, an absolute pleasure.
Dee Caffari speaking to me earlier, and that race with Shirley Robertson, definitely one for you to watch.
Yeah, she's so inspiring. What a fantastic sailor.